The Ryder Cup isn't a golf tournament. It's 24 men playing for nothing. No purse, no world ranking points, no FedEx Cup credit. 28 matches over 3 days, and not a single one of them affects a player's career statistics in any measurable way. Think about what that means. Every putt these men stand over is worth exactly $0, and they will still be shaking so hard on the first tee that they can't get the ball to sit on the peg. Unlike the Masters, which never leaves Augusta, the Ryder Cup moves every single time. America, then Europe, then back again, which means the entire operation is torn down and rebuilt from scratch on a different continent every 2 years, under a new captain, in a new country, with a new set of home field rules quietly tilted in the host's favor. So how does it actually work? In this video, we're breaking down the qualification system almost nobody understands, the captain's picks that end reputations, the pod system that changed American golf forever, the lineup card filled out blind, the $500,000 payment that split the two teams in half, and the reason the away team has won exactly once in 20 years. Let's get into it. Start with the first tee, because there's nothing else like it in the sport. At a normal PGA Tour event, the first tee is a modest grandstand, a smattering of polite applause, a tipped cap. At the Ryder Cup, it's a stadium. The grandstand at Le Golf National in Paris in 2018 held 6,500 people and was roughly 5 times the size of the one at Hazeltine 2 years earlier. Fans arrive in darkness to claim seats, and by sunrise, it's full and it stays full, and it breaks people. Justin Thomas hit a 5-wood off the tee in Paris specifically so he wouldn't have to tee the ball up. His words? He doesn't think he could have gotten it on the tee if he had tried. Rory McIlroy said it took him several attempts to get the ball to sit still. Mark O'Meara, a future major champion, hit his opening drive at the Belfry into the tinted village and told his partner he couldn't breathe. Tiger Woods put one in the water at the K-Club. Webb Simpson popped one up like a 20 handicapper at Glen Eagles. In 2021, Ian Poulter wore a heart rate monitor on the first tee at Whistling Straits. These players have resting heart rates in the 50s. As he pushed his tee into the ground, his hit 130. Brooks Koepka, the man whose entire public identity is not caring, called his Ryder Cup debut the most nervous he's ever been on a golf course. That's the shot. Worth nothing. Terrifying anyway. So, how do you get there? 12 players pick a side. 6 qualify automatically, 6 are picked by the captain, and those two halves work completely differently. The American list runs on money, literally. 1 qualification point per $1,000 earned at select events, weighted 1.5 times at the majors. Europe scrapped its old dual list system entirely for 2025 and moved to a single points list, with majors worth the most and DP World Tour events scaling down from there. Top 6 on either list, you're in. Everyone else waits on the captain, and that's where Ryder Cups get decided. In 2023, Zach Johnson spent a pick on Justin Thomas, who had missed the cut in 3 majors that season. Europe won 16.5 to 11.5. In 2025, Luke Donald barely had a decision to make. He went straight down his own standings from 7 to 11, then took Jon Rahm at 24th because Rahm plays live golf and physically couldn't accumulate points. 11 of his 12 had won together in Rome. Keegan Bradley had the harder call. He was in form. He was ranked high enough to pick himself, which would have made him the first playing captain since Arnold Palmer in 1963. He didn't. Then there's the format, and one piece of it that almost no broadcast explains properly. 28 matches, 28 points. 14.5 wins it, 14 retains it, meaning if you're the defending champion, a tie is enough. Friday and Saturday are foursomes and 4-ball. Foursomes is alternate shot, 2 players, 1 golf ball, meaning your partner's bad drive becomes your problem from the rough in front of 40,000 people. Sunday is 12 singles matches. Everybody plays. Here's the part that matters. The captains don't take turns picking matchups. They fill out their entire lineup card in secret and hand it in. Bradley has no idea what Donald wrote. Donald has no idea what Bradley wrote. The 1 plays 1, 2 plays 2, straight down the card. It's a chess match played between 2 men who can't see the board, which is why pairings decide Ryder Cups more often than talent does. In 2023, the Americans lost the foursome sessions 7-1. Not a talent gap, a pairing failure. By the time anyone knew, points were gone. Which brings us to the single most influential idea in modern Ryder Cup strategy, and it came from a Navy SEALs documentary. Going into 2008, the Americans had lost 3 straight and 6 of the last 7. Paul Azinger, sitting on his couch, happened to watch a program about SEAL training and how they operate in small units. He noticed something obvious that nobody had acted on. Golfers are trained from age 13 to be completely self-centered, then asked to become a 12-man team for 1 week every 2 years. So he stopped asking them to be a 12-man team. Azinger split the squad into 3 pods of 4, grouped by personality, not by world ranking. Each pod ate together, practiced together, and critically, got to choose who filled their 4th spot. Players were only ever paired within their own pod. He gave the groups ownership of their own lineup. Then he addressed the full team exactly once, on day 1, and never again. Not even before Sunday singles. He mentioned it to his wife that Saturday night. He had forgotten to give a speech. She told him not to worry about it. America won 16.5 to 11.5. First win since 1999. Then the U.S. abandoned the system and lost in 2010, 2012, and 2014. After the 3rd loss, Phil Mickelson dismantled his own captain in a live press conference with Tom Watson sitting 6 seats away, saying they'd strayed from a formula that worked. Davis Love brought the pods back in 2016. America won 17 to 11. Every time they've used it, they've won. Now for the money, or rather, the war over the absence of it. For 98 years, nobody was paid to play in this event. Starting in 1999, the PGA of America donated $200,000 to a charity in each American player's name, and that number didn't move for 25 years. Then, Rome. Patrick Cantlay walked to the first tee in 2023 without a team hat. Reports claimed it was a silent protest over pay. Cantlay said the hat didn't fit. By Saturday, thousands of European fans were waving their own hats at him every time he appeared, and it ended in a confrontation on the 18th green and an argument in the parking lot between Rory McIlroy and Cantlay's caddy. In December 2024, the PGA of America changed the rule. Each American player at Bethpage would receive $500,000, $300,000 for charity, $200,000 as a personal stipend. First payment in Ryder Cup history. Their own statement specified that no player had asked for it. Europe went the other direction entirely. Donald pulled all 12 of his players from Rome. Not one wanted it. McIlroy said he'd pay for the privilege and called the Ryder Cup and the Olympics the 2 purest competitions left in golf precisely because no money was involved. Then, several American players announced they'd donate the entire $500,000 anyway. So the biggest financial controversy in modern golf ended with millionaires arguing about who gets to give money away. Where the money actually goes is the part nobody talks about. The DP World Tour, which runs the European side, keeps the majority of Ryder Cup revenue and channels it straight into operations. Financial records suggest that income is essential to the tour's continued existence. 1 week every 2 years helps fund an entire professional circuit. And it generates plenty. The 2025 matches at Bethpage projected over $200 million in economic impact for New York State and drew more than 250,000 spectators. The largest staging in the event's history. Tickets started at $750. Hospitality ran $10,000 a head. Beer inside the gates was $15 to $19. A t-shirt was $82. At the Masters, a beer is $5 and a sandwich is $1.50. Same sport, same tier of prestige, opposite philosophy. Augusta treats you as a guest, the Ryder Cup treats you as a customer and doesn't pretend otherwise. The irony at Bethpage was sharper than usual because Bethpage Black is municipal. The People's Country Club, the first publicly owned course ever to host the Ryder Cup, where a New York resident can normally book a tee time for a fraction of what it costs to walk through the gate that week. And then the pattern nobody has solved. Home teams win. Almost always. The away side has won exactly once since 2006. Europe hasn't won in America since Medina in 2012. America hasn't won in Europe since 1993, a drought stretching past 3 decades. That's not a talent gap. Same 24 players, ranked in the same order. Part of it's structural. The home captain decides the session order. Foursomes first over 4-ball first. Entirely his call. Azinger flipped that order in 2008 as part of his overhaul. It's a small lever, but in a competition decided by half points, small levers are enormous. And part of it is the noise. In Rome in 2023, the American team failed to win the first hole in any of the opening 12 matches. The Ryder Cup can't touch the Masters on ratings, and doesn't try. What it has instead is the only week in professional golf where an individual sport becomes a team sport, where a man who has won 20 tournaments by himself has to stand over a 4-footer for somebody else in front of a crowd that flew across an ocean specifically to watch him miss it. A qualification system built on prize money. 6 picks that can end a reputation. A strategy borrowed from Navy SEALs that has never lost. A lineup card filled out blind. $500,000 that most of the men received gave away. A first tee that turns major champions into people who can't breathe. A home field advantage nobody has cracked in 20 years. There is no other event in golf that works like this. And every 2 years, for 3 days, it becomes the biggest thing in sports.